Hey folks, welcome to the Do-It-Yourself Dad channel. These up here, these are my WYZE Cams, and I've got these things outside around the house. And I did a video a couple months ago about them, and I've had a lot of requests for a follow-up video about how they're holding up outside, how they're dealing with temperature and the elements and things like that, and how they deal in the dark. So here we go. I've got one mounted up underneath the house here, and another one right here off the front of my house. And I actually had one more mounted up where that junction box is to keep an eye on my pool. And I had this so when the kids are out in the backyard, I can keep an eye on them. That one's down right now because it's wintertime. We're not going in the pool. But let's talk about how these things have dealt with the heat of the summer and now the temperature in the wintertime. But before we get to that, let's take a look around the new app that just came out for the WYZE Cams. It's got a lot of new features, and as we explore around this app, let's talk about why these cameras are so neat. These cameras are only about $25 a piece right now on Amazon, and I've got a link for them in the description below. I put them in an inexpensive housing so I could put them outside. I've got a link for that in there below. So you can put this whole system together, multiple cameras, for cheaper than a single Ring doorbell camera on your house, and there's no monthly fee. So these cameras are really, really neat. Now with this new app, they have added some new features. There's some new social features as well, so you can share videos and things that you've captured, as well as some automation things that you can put in there. So there's a lot of new features that they keep building into the cameras and into the app. So my last video about these cameras was about how to set them up outside, and I have that link down below. But I had a lot of questions on that video. People asked me how they had held up over time, how they handled the heat and the cold, and also how night vision worked and how well it worked. So that's what we're going to cover real quick in this video, are those little features and kind of a follow-up of how these things have held up over 6 months. If you haven't already, be sure you go down below and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a great big thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Let me know what kind of stuff that you're doing with your WYZE camera and anything else you think we should be testing out around the house. Now it's a little past noon right now, and you can see the one on the front of my house is getting a little bit of shade, but once it passes just past noon, that thing gets hit with direct sun. We had this thing up over the summertime, and that camera actually was out when it was about 115 degrees out, and the housing was being blasted with direct sun. And with that heat day after day after day, for the last part of the summer, we had no problems with heat doing anything to the camera as far as disfiguring it or affecting its function. It worked fine all the way through. This one is the one that I have mounted right next to my front door, and I have this one set up to send alerts to my phone when it senses motion. One of the issues that I did have with this, which I had with my last security system as well, is when things blow by, it gets pretty windy here, or when the shadows blow around, it does sometimes send me false alarms. But it's pretty infrequent, and it is pretty consistent with what it sends out. So I have been pretty happy with this one. Now the one that we have here in the front of the house, I had to set up a little bit differently, because that one does overlook my driveway. And a lot of movement does happen in the driveway and down at the sidewalk. So I have that one set up with zones. So it will only alert me to motion if motion actually happens in the driveway and not out in the street or on the sidewalk. And it has worked pretty well, although I have run into the same issue here where when the branches blow around in the trees or if the shadows move around because of the wind, it does sometimes send me false alerts. Now testing the high temperature I realized would be easy out here because we live in the Southern California desert, but testing the low temperature wasn't going to be as easy. So I did this. I took that camera that I had been using in the backyard and I stuck it in my freezer in the garage, and I actually set the temperature as low as it would possibly go, and I've had it in here running away for 3 weeks now without an issue. And you can see there it's running at 10 degrees inside the freezer. We've had no issues, no connection issues, and you can see there that blue light is on, so that means it's working and it's transmitting. We've had no issues at all. This will give you an idea of what to expect using these cameras in the dark. At my front door, I actually don't have the night vision turned on, but over my driveway I do, and there's infrared illuminators that do help illuminate the driveway. But it does do a pretty good job of picking up light even out in the distance, and you can see here with me walking up, you do get a pretty good view of what's going on even in the dark. So I hope this video helped you make a decision whether these cameras were right for you. If you want to use them to help you catch porch pirates like this guy, or if you want to catch the mystery thief who's been stealing the cold ones out of your fridge, this might be the camera for you. So give me a comment down below, give this video a great big thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe. Let me know what kind of stuff you think we should be testing out here on the Do-It-Yourself Dad channel.